everybody, Sam's Trains here, welcome back to the railway and welcome to another Diesel Month review. Today we're going to be looking at I think it's my first ever Heljan locomotive, and it's this. This is the Heljan Class 26, which is another diesel of course, lovely little Bobo. This was a Hatton's job I think. I ordered this from Hatton's for the ridiculous price of £61. I mean, for something like this, yeah, that is unbelievable. That is similar to the price you'd pay for a Hornby Railroad locomotive, and this is considerably better than one of those, I would say. So yeah, Heljan are quite a well-known company over here in the UK at the very least. I'm not too sure about overseas. They're mostly known for diesels, but in recent years they have delved into the steam locomotive market, and this is the very first of their locomotives I'm going to be reviewing. So without any further ado, let's put this one down and see what it's like, shall we? So yes, here it is then, the Heljan packaging, the first time I've ever looked at it. How exciting and how sad as well. Anyway, let me show you what's on the end of the box. This in gigantic letters you can see is 2663, I assume that's the product number, not too sure. Class 26/0. 26631, don't know what that means because the running number is there presumably, D5317BR green with small yellow panels. Yep, fair enough. And yeah, I think that's all I've got to say about the box, to be honest. There's nothing on the back except for Heljan's lovely logo. So without any further ado, let's take this out, shall we, and have a look at it. Just take the outer sleeve off. And yes, it's in the block of ice packaging, so not unlike the other brands that we tend to look at over here. So, let me pop that down. Right, we have what appears to be the instructions. Yeah. So at the top there you've got a little bit about loco care and how to look after it, that sort of thing. Then you have a couple of paragraphs about the Class 26 and their history. It is a bit small, but if you can pause it and read it, feel free to. So yeah, that's that. Then on the back you've just got a little bit of info on, let's see here, how to fit the head code discs, it looks like, and also DCC fitting them. So yeah, that seems to be all in order, doesn't it? Tells you everything you might need to know. Okay, let's get the 26 out then and see what she's like, shall we? Right, a bit stiff. Take that off. Right, if I flip this upside down, whoa, we can see the detail packs, and they are extensive, gosh. Right, okay, this first one I think I've had open already, in fact, because the couplings are inside there. But yeah, plenty of detail on there, still on the little, I don't know what you'd call them, but yeah, you have to cut them off there, don't you, or pull them off or whatever. So that's fair enough. And then in this one, you've got even more, just tons of different details. I believe those are the head code discs as well, for the most part. So yeah, loads and loads of detail. And I must say as well, the loco doesn't have a small amount of detail on it either. It's very, very impressive. And for £61, it's ridiculous. Okay, let's take this off. Ooh, sorry about the noise. There we go. Bit of plastic on the top there. Just take that off. Grab the loco, move that out of the way, and there it is. And I must say, I think it's quite normal with Heljan locos, but it is very, very heavy. And it's certainly one of the heaviest diesels I've got, and it's by no means the largest either. So that says something, I think. But yeah, as you can see, beautifully painted, very, very nice model. And I'm going to review it for you up close in just a second. But first of all, here's a little bit of history on the Class 26. So let's get to it. I'll do the shout outs first of all then. So hello to Fred's Trains, the Bluebell Engine, and Akshay Perumal. Thank you very much for getting in touch. Anyway, the Class 26 was a class of small diesels introduced in 1958. They supported 1,160 horsepower engines, and the class were capable of speeds up to 80 miles an hour, making them suitable for both passenger and goods work. 47 were built in total over a 2-year period, and eventually they were all sent to Scotland, where they worked until withdrawal during the 1970s and 1980s. The Class 26s were still in good running order, but there was little demand for smaller diesels by this time, and so they began to disappear. Nonetheless, a reasonably healthy 13 examples still remain in preservation. So there it is then, the beautiful Heljan Class 26/0, and this one is D5317 with the yellow warning panels, and just what a beauty this is. It was £61, which makes it a very cheap model in fact, but nonetheless there is a huge amount of detail on here which makes it very, very impressive. So let's look at the paintwork first. Of course you've got the lovely BR crest, as you can see there, nicely applied, just like it is on the steamers really, so yep, that is nice to see. And of course you've got the lovely lining, the white stripe which goes across the length of the thing there, very nicely done. And also around the cab area you have that lovely white paint which actually gives it an awful lot of character, which I think is very nice indeed. Up on the roof there's a lot of paintwork. You've got this sort of, I would say it's sort of a browny grey colour, the main roof, but then you've got these black panels as you can see, which are done in a different colour. Also, while we're up on the top, you can see there is a real grille up on the top there, which you can see has one of those plastic fans behind it. Sadly, that isn't one that's motorised, but for this kind of price, what do you really expect? It is just nice to have an actual physical fan under there, rather than just some moulding trick, like with the railroad locos, which cost a similar amount to this. Let's have a look at some of the separately fitted parts then. Now, just either side of the doors which lead into the cabs, I believe these are separately fitted handrails, and that's quite a nice effect because you can tell that they just protrude a little bit, which is very nice. And of course all of the different windows and panes and such are separately fitted. Of course, you know, for a model of this quality, you're not going to be expecting anything other. On the front of the cab you can see you have the separately fitted windscreen wipers, which are very, very nice to see, and they're also very realistic. I would be inclined to say they're quite fragile looking, but they're all present I believe, so that is quite good. Now the buffer beams have an incredible amount of detail on there, and as you can see it does look fantastic, but it's an absolute nightmare if you want to fit a coupling of any kind, including the ones that Heljan send, because as soon as it hits a curve, even my third radius curves for example, the loco just derails immediately, and yeah, it's just insane that they should let these things go unnoticed. Now yeah, I know that there are lots of modelers out there who buy these things just for static displays and they want as much detail on there as possible for as much realism as possible. And equally there are lots of modelers out there who have proper layouts, not like mine, with very large sweeping curves so that this isn't a problem. But also there are loads and loads of modelers just like me who run on third and fourth radius curves and some who run on second radius curves. So yeah, that is an absolute nightmare. And so as you can see on the other side, I've had to take a lot of that off just so that I can fit the coupling. It's not a nice thing to have to do with a loco straight out of the box. I can understand why they've done it. Of course it would be quite annoying equally asking you to fit these things, but yeah, it isn't nice to have to cannibalise a loco straight out of the box, but never mind, it can't be helped. But it's not a fault with the detail, as I say, it's just something that's a little bit niggly if you actually want to run it. Okay, let's have a look, see if it's got sprung buffers. Yes, it does, of course it does. Look at that, absolutely brilliant. And let's see if I can see inside the cabs. Yes, there is some detailing inside there, I think. It's not painted or anything, but I don't think it very often is it? So yeah, not a complaint there at all. But I think this model once again speaks for itself. You can just see how beautiful this is and how good it is for the money. Okay, well I'm not going to talk about the detail any longer because I think we're all dying to see this run, but as you can see there is a lot. You know, there's handrails everywhere you look, separately fitted parts, beautiful paintwork. Yep, it's a stunner, isn't it? Okay, down onto the track then, let's see how she goes and do a little bit of performance with her. Okay, so there she is then, Heljan's beautiful Class 26/0, down onto the track, ready to go. And as you can see, she's about to be coupling to these lovely blood and custard coaches. I'm not 100% sure how prototypical that would be with those, but I don't think it's too far off, is it? Okay, so let's give her a little bit of juice then on the old controller. She has just been running in, so I'm satisfied that she's nice and warmed up. So let me give her a little bit of juice. There we go. And even though that is very good and smooth at that speed, she won't go any slower than that. Oops, she's a little bit better in reverse. A lot better in reverse. Let's see. Yeah, so we're talking that is about the slowest speed in reverse. And if I send her forwards, yeah, it's not bad, is it, actually? It's definitely not the slowest performer ever, but I don't think you've got much to complain about there, have you? I mean, that's pretty darn good. Right, this model also does have lights, but they're very, very naff. And in fact, you have to get right in front of the engine just to be able to see whether it has got lights or not. So I'm going to stick the camera down onto the track, and I know you shouldn't do this, but I'm just going to hold the engine and give her a little bit of power, and hopefully you'll see the lights working. So I'll do that now. Okay, so yeah, you can just about see them on there. They're really, really, really not very bright. And I don't know why, because LEDs are so cheap these days, and most of them are so good. But yeah, it is what it is, not to worry. Anyway, I'm going to get her coupled then. Now, as you might be able to tell there, yes you can, the coupling just droops like that. As you can see, it should be upright, more like that. But it droops downwards, which means that you can't couple up to anything because the coupling is too far down. So I'm going to have to do that manually, unfortunately. And there are a few quality issues like that. So these compartments underneath, look, you can see that they're really wobbly. Yeah, it's not terrible quality, but it's certainly not sturdy like some models are. So yeah, don't know what's going on there. Let's try the coupling anyway, you never know. I must admit she is beautiful and quiet though. Right, let's see how this goes. If I give her a little bit of force. Has she done it? No, she hasn't done it. Okay, let me park her up then. Yeah, it's a little bit... There are a few engines like this which have droopy couplings, and it's really annoying because, of course, you can't do any realistic sort of shunting with them or anything like that, can you? There we go. Is that on? Right, I think it is. Let me get back to the controller. Right, hopefully I've not derailed anything by doing that then. Oh yes, she's got them. And of course, being so heavy and being all-wheel drive, she is a very, very good puller. And these coaches are no match for her whatsoever. And just coming into shot on the middle line, we have another Heljan loco. I believe this one is the 128. And this is the one that I had to cut into the body just to get it to run without derailing. But she's fine now, and as you can see, she's got some... well, she's supposed to be pulling parcels, but I didn't have any suitable parcel cars, so I've just put some box fans on there instead. And on the inner line, it's my old favourite, the V-Trains Class 37, and she's pulling a breakfast train, so you'll be able to see all the different breakfast items going by. In the background there you can see the Class 25, but there are lots of other engines out on the line today, so see if you can spot which are out there, and see if you can let me know in the comments. But for now then, let's have a little running session with these three, and I hope you enjoy it. Let's do it. Here's the 26 then. And yes, she is a fantastic puller, as you can see. She's so quiet, quite speedy, but I suppose if they were doing passenger services, they would have been speedy, wouldn't they? Oh, and then we've got the 128. I think this is her first appearance on the channel as well. I must admit, I don't think they're particularly beautiful, and I don't think I got a very nice livery, to be honest. I've seen one that's, I think it's red or green, and those are a lot nicer, to be honest. So I might have to look into getting those, but the blue one's not bad, don't get me wrong. It's just not one of the nicest diesels, in my opinion anyway. You might disagree, and that's fine, of course. There's the 37, definitely a classic diesel, that one. I think everybody recognises that one most of the time anyway. This is a nice opportunity to see the breakfast train going by. You've got Weetabix, beans, Kellogg's cereal. Yep, looking quite good. Oops, got a few doors open on the ventilated vans. Excellent, that means all the freight's going to come spilling out onto the rails. Perfect. And now for my ratings then on the lovely Heljan Class 26. Detail 9 out of 10. It is a very, very superbly detailed model, and I do just absolutely love seeing it run around on a layout because it is so beautiful. Performance 8 out of 10. As you saw, the performance at slow speeds wasn't absolutely superb, and some of the detail actually gets in the way of the performance a little bit, but it's certainly not bad by any means, so 8 out of 10 there. Character 9 out of 10. It is a very beautiful loco, and I think it has a lot of character, but it also seems fairly accurate as well. I've looked at some of the photos of them in real life, and it seems as though Heljan have done a very good job of capturing that one. Build quality 7 out of 10. I did notice that there were a few parts loose in the box when I first got her, and also there's a few bits of detailing that are a little bit loose as well, so not absolutely superb build quality, but it's certainly okay if you're, if you're willing to be careful. Value for £61, absolutely brilliant, 10 out of 10 there, which leaves her overall 8.36 out of 10, and let's put her into the rankings then, and there you go, you can see 20th, just above the Hornby T9 and below the Hornby B17. Here goes the breakfast train again then. And in the background you might just see the 26 going by. Yep, there she is. I do love the way she looks with those coaches though. I don't know, I'm a bit daft like that. Oh, Bullman, someone's going to have you for breakfast if you're not careful. He doesn't listen, doesn't mind. Yep, it is a beauty, isn't it? It's one of those that even if you're not a diesel fan, it will sort of turn you on a little bit. I couldn't resist it anyway, and for £61, you can't go wrong, can you? Not at all. I don't know if anybody's noticed the new sails, or whatever you want to call them, on this wind turbine. The last one gave up the ghost a couple of weeks ago, and there was a few videos when it wasn't running at all just because it was broken. But I've managed to make some new sails out of cardboard, which are much lighter, so I'm hoping that they won't stress the motor out too much. So yeah, that's working again for the time being. It might do us another year, we'll see. But yeah, if you guys want me to keep maintaining the wind turbine, do let me know, because I quite like it. I think it's quite a... well, it's a bit of an eyesore, isn't it? But it does the trick, I suppose. Alright then folks, well I think that's just about it for this review. I do hope you enjoyed that, and I'll be back again on Saturday for yet another diesel running session, so I hope you're going to enjoy that. If you did like the video, please feel free to leave it a like or even a comment, because I do love it when you guys get in touch. And also, if you'd like to, feel free to check out the Facebook and Twitter pages at facebook.com/samstrains and twitter.com/samstrains. Also, I will do another quick plug for my servicing service. I can now accept locomotives for servicing and repairs, so if you've got any loco trouble whatsoever, feel free to email me at samstrains@outlook.com and I will get back to you and see what I can do. Here's a little update on the Wall of Fame then as well. As you can see, lots of pictures up there. I think I'm just about up to date, and of course if you'd like to have one of your pictures put up there, you can do. Just email them into samstrains@outlook.com and I'll get those up for you, and it is looking very good at the moment, I must say. Anyway folks, I'm going to stop droning on now and let you get off, so thank you very much once again for watching, and I will see you all very, very soon. Cheers everybody.